Well, hello there. How are you doing? It's Sunday. It's Sunday the 30th of November. November in a few hours can go away. The worst month of the year. That's what I say. But tomorrow is officially the run-up till Christmas. And I hope you're all as excited as I am. I've literally had the trimmings up like a month now. I would say that was Mrs. Harsh who made that decision, but I think she'd probably argue, and seeing as she's within sort of where she could hit me from here, I'll not say anything. She can definitely hear me. And anyway, you're looking absolutely amazing. I'm going to get straight into it, as I want to cover this because in the aftermath of Candace Owens claiming that she had received a credible death threat, and we spoke about different people who had come out to offer credibility to that claim. But what we did see, or what people who are watching properly and don't just hear what they want to hear, some of the people who were stated to have come forward and offered credibility to the claim. And look, I'm not here to say that her claim is not credible. What I'm here to say is that there's a difference between being told something and being shown the validity of it, so we can walk away and say, yep, do you know what I mean? That person has said something, it's absolutely credible, and now there needs to be something done about it. In fact, I said, if the accusation that Candace Owens had made was indeed credible, and that could be classed as even more important than what we're seeing in the Charlie Kirk case, because ultimately what we're seeing in the Charlie Kirk case, in my opinion, is just the same as we always see. The people in power forming their own narrative and the sheep following it. Those who want to question it will question it, but ultimately nothing ever happens. The powerful people's arrogance grows, and what they claim to be true just becomes more and more crazy, but they just keep getting away with it. But who am I talking about? I'm talking about, in this case, Brandon Tatum, because Brandon Tatum, if I go over to here, he was one of the people who it was claimed had basically said that he had, this is what people are saying. Now, they're saying that Brandon had said that he had spoken to Candace and she had shown him the proof and the evidence, and the threat that was made to her was legit. And he was, things should be done about it. That's how it was kind of worded. And it's these subtle nuances that can completely change what is actually going on. Because let's read what they say, and then we're going to go over to Brandon Tatum himself and look at what he did in the aftermath of the claims that were made. So it says Brandon Tatum and Evan Kilgore, had a fight online. I don't mean like celebrity deathmatch. I mean like an E-fight where they're on November the 25th, 26th, 2025. The fight started when Evan Kilgore said on X that Brandon Tatum had seen the evidence of the alleged plan to kill Candace Owens, and this made Tatum very upset. He quickly replied on November 26th, 2025 and said, "Why are you lying? You better delete this or edit it. I never said I saw evidence." So he is literally saying he hasn't seen any evidence to back up what was claimed. Brandon Tatum said he only said he was convinced that Candace Owens would not lie to him. He said he never said he saw proof, and he was not sure if anything was verified. So there you have it. There you have it. And then if we go over to here, he's written over here, look. People have been lying all over the internet about what I said about Candace Owens and the alleged assassination plot against her. I break down exactly what I told Candace, what she told me, why I said I was convinced, and how Clout Chase had twisted one clip to stir drama. So if you follow Tatum, you may have already seen the rebuttals, if you like. If not, head over and listen to him. But what he's basically saying is, look, I wasn't shown any proof. I wasn't shown any evidence of what Candace Owens said. It's basically that I have a relationship with Candace Owens, and because of that relationship, I feel that Candace Owens wouldn't lie to me. And that's very different than verifying the information that Candace Owens has shared with everyone. Because ultimately the question then becomes, well, would Candace Owens lie to Tatum if there was some benefit to her in some way, shape or form. And if she says certain things, does that necessarily mean that she's lying to him anyway? Is she in fact just telling him what she has indeed been told, but what she has been told isn't what it's being portrayed to be? I said before, I feel that Candace Owens, because of the size of the voice that she has while talking about the Charlie Kirk case, in effect, it makes her a target of people who may want to discredit her. It would be very difficult to assassinate Candace Owens, for instance, even though it was Andrew Colvert who had apparently stated that this assassination was meant to be for Candace. I don't know whether we was shared the full context of that. I do not know. Where is that? Where does that backstory truly come from? Are we genuinely saying now that Candace Owens was supposed to be the one who was assassinated, but they assassinated Charlie Kirk instead? By accident, perhaps, or just to get back at Candace Owens? I find it, and I say this, it's narcissistic. In my opinion, without being shown credible evidence of what is being said, I find some of the statements to be narcissistic, because this is being made to almost be the Candace Owens show. Very similar to what we saw in the Idaho 4 case, and it almost becoming the Gonsalves family show, even though there was 4 victims. And we see this continue in the aftermath of Brian Kohberger's incarceration. The Charlie Kirk case, the biggest thing in it at the moment is Candace Owens' life being at risk, when the downside is, I feel, and again I say this because I question everything and everyone, and I will always hold my hands up when I'm wrong and I'm up for being proven to be wrong, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, but I think that you have to be very cautious when you think that ultimately Charlie Kirk was assassinated, and there is a story that is being put out that doesn't make sense. Is it completely beyond the realms of possibility that it is accurate? Arguably, you could say that this could have been a miracle shot. Even those that have done that portrayed what this shot looks like in the field, and they've used different things, they have equally turned around and said, look, bullet behavior differs from shot to shot, and it's not impossible for this to happen, what we see. It's not impossible. It's very, very unlikely, and there's probably less than a 1% chance of it happening, but it isn't impossible. But I think when you start putting Man of Steel and hit his neck and his bone density and bringing that into the equation, it seems a little bit insane. And when we haven't seen Tyler Robinson since he was arrested, and everyone's now wondering, well, is this guy actually a real guy? Because we haven't seen him, and the video we have seen, the pictures that we have seen don't really match the imagery that we've seen of him from earlier on. It's an odd one. But when you think that there's such a big question around Charlie Kirk's death and what is actually going on there, and even we may get to the hearing in January and we still don't see Tyler Robinson, the entire process could be hidden from the public eye, and then you've got Candace Owens, a huge voice that is seemingly trying to turn it and focus all the attention on her and what is happening to her and what could potentially happen to her. Technically, a lot of people are taking their focus away from here. So those who may be a little bit more or less trusting of certain entities, you may argue that Candace Owens seems to be shifting focus away from Charlie Kirk. That's how it can sometimes appear. Because again, if you look at what's the most virulent at the moment, is it the question surrounding Tyler Robinson, or is it the question surrounding Candace Owens and a potential assassination incoming? I just don't know. But I have said Candace Owens could be in danger. She could be, and I hope she isn't. I hope she remains safe. I do also feel that, as aforementioned, that she could potentially be a target for those who wish to discredit her and do that publicly, so people don't then trust what she says later on if she does say anything that's pertinent to this investigation. But it's all up in the air, but I wanted to come out and just clarify. Look, there's a lot of people who are saying certain things around the claims that Candace Owens made that they're just not true. Nobody at the moment, as far as the public is aware, has seen any credible proof that this is a credible threat to Candace Owens. And I'm not saying it's not a credible threat, but when people are literally making videos and saying that other people are saying that they have seen evidence, it is trustworthy, it is real, and they themselves they've literally had to come out and say, hold on a second, I didn't say that. People have got to be straight, and people ain't. And to be honest, there's enough people around this situation, and we don't need any other around it. Love you all, and I'll see you all live later on. Mwah.